Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the West Ham Network. This is your review. You've just witnessed West Ham lose on penalties to Blackburn Rovers of the Championship. Matt, mate, I think the thing I'm lost for words for is the conceding of the goal at the last minute. It's really not a good situation, mate.
Two games in a row, 3-4 days in a row, we haven't seen it out. We haven't seen it out. It was poor defending for the second goal, but I know if buts, hands, maybes, we could have won it in normal time, but equally we could have been battered in normal time. Considering the fact we played 5 at the back, and it's supposed to be Moyes as a defensive manager, the mistakes we were making. If we played like that at the weekend, Vardy will have a hat trick. That he will not miss the chances that we presented to Blackburn.
Yeah,
let's be real. I mean, start of the game, we could have been 3-0 down inside 6 minutes. We was only 1-0 down. A ball got given away in midfield. One ball along the floor, split the defence and the centre backs. Centre forward went 1-on-1, put it through Areola's legs to be 1-0 up inside 6 minutes. Having already missed a 1-on-1 at that point after Aguerd played a poor back pass and Areola saved it. After that, West Ham started dominating possession, started dominating the corner count, passing, without really creating much. There was lots of half chances. Didn't really, there wasn't really keeper at that time putting off amazing saves. Then 10 minutes before half time, maybe we found a way through. Antonio bundles past the fullback, I think, or the centre back on the wing, puts a cross in, which actually was going to no one. He pulled it back to the edge of the box. There was no one there. Defender sort of shanks the clearance, and it goes about 3 yards back in towards the goal. And Fornals does brilliantly on the turn and bury it in the bottom corner. Then the end of the half, it was almost like Blackburn. It's almost like Blackburn got in front and said, "We're going to sit back now," and gave West Ham possession. It was like West Ham up their game when they went behind. Blackburn killed off a little bit. Then we went in front, and rather than putting a foot down for the last 10 minutes of the first half, it's almost like the entire situation swapped. We took off, and they put it on again. And they should have gone in winning at halftime.
Yeah.
It was an awful mistake from Connor Coventry. On the left, on our right-hand wing, was getting pressed, it was getting pressured, pressed, and he wanted to keep the ball. And he basically tried to switch it from 30 yards out on the right midfield to the left back on the far side on the edge of the box. I don't know if it was Ogbonna or Emerson. He was trying to switch it to that side. And he literally crossed it straight into the box for the centre forward who was on his own, who went round the goalkeeper and then found the player on the line when he had half the goal to score in. And you thought, we got out of jail there. We've managed to get in at half time. We had a poor start to the game, as we seem to always do. Poor start. Woke up 1-0 down again, which we always do. Got back in it at half time. Got back in it and then managed to get to half time 1-1 when it should have been worse. Again, we come out at the start of the second half. Equally as poorly. It took us 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes to get going again. Again, we started dominating possession without creating as many chances. Antonio hit the post from a yard, from a flick on from a corner, when you think for all the world he's going to score. Then Antonio gets 1-on-1, hits it straight at the goalkeeper. Benrahma blazes the rebound over the bar. West Ham have to bring on all the big guns. Skamaka comes on. Bowen comes on. I said Benrahma, come on. Then West Ham finally get in front. Cross sort of deflects, luckily, to Antonio. And from just inside the box, he buries it in the bottom corner. And I said at the time, we're now wide open because we're playing a 4-4-2. Is he going to take Antonio off for Souček? Souček looked like he was coming on. He didn't. Blackburn made subs, though, and they brought on Ben Brereton Diaz. And he had one chance cutting off the left-hand side on his right foot, but he put the wrong side of the post. And that should have been a warning. And then, lo and behold, 2 minutes to go. Ben Johnson, having already seen him do it, forces him inside on his right foot, just inside the box, and invited him to do it again.
Exactly what he wants.
He put it in the top corner. Like, I'm not... I have questioned some of the stuff Ben Johnson does at times this season. Like, I think it was the Liverpool game when I said he just stood off the defender and let him cross it in. And it was a fantastic header from Nunes, but you should be going to close the crosser down. You shouldn't be inviting the cross in. And this one, if he's already cut inside once on his right foot from that left-hand side, if he's cut inside once and hit it the wrong side of the post, why would you then show him that way again? Why would you do it?
Yeah.
And then
what is it? What? Before you kind of carry on, though, what is it about West Ham? Either just closing down a victory, like just getting a fucking victory over the line, like the last minute.
Moyes went to attacking.
What is it right now?
No, I don't want to say that because he went too defensive at the start of the game, right? Blackburn were prioritising. Blackburn prioritised the league. Blackburn did not want to go through. They'll take it, and fair play to them. And hopefully they get one of the big teams maybe next. I don't know what they want. If they want a big team to get the TV money or they just want another poor team and continue their run going. They didn't want it. They put the second team out because they're high-flying to the championship. The second in the league, they want to keep going. Right? West Ham put their European team out, their second team, and we were awful. We were awful at times, and we dominated possession, but we didn't have an attacking flair. We missed that spark, that creativity, that bit of something, and it forced Moyes to take Soufal, Coventry, and Emerson off, and bring on Benrahma, Bowen, and Scamacca, and go for 4-4-2 with Lanzini and Downs as midfield two. That's not going to shut a team out. He basically went 4-4-2 at that point and had Johnson must have been playing left back at that point. I don't know. Johnson playing right back. Agued or Bonner. I'm trying to think who the defenders were because Soufal come off and Emerson come off. So we were playing. Don't know who was playing at the back. It was. I'm trying to get the team back up maybe and work out who was playing where. At the end of the game, so Soufal come off for this. So Bowen, Smacker, Benrahma come on. So you'd have had Bonner, Agued, Johnson as a defensive three, Lanzini and Downs in the middle, Benrahma and Bowen on the wings, Scamacca with Antonio. Sorry, Emerson didn't come off till at the end. Did he come off? He'd been playing left back. He'd gone to an orthodox left back.
Right. So the other question then is, if this is the team that's done so well in the Europa Conference League, what is it that we haven't done tonight against a second string Blackburn team? What's the
He took out the creativity. He took out the creativity. Right. The thing is, what Moyes the team Moyes played in Europe. It's still like a group table. You've still got 6 games, so teams aren't going to go. It's not a one-off game. You're not going to go gung ho because you can still lose 2 games and qualify. All right. So I get he played defensive, but today Blackburn played a second team and he still went 5 at the back, right? With Johnson, who's essentially is a right back, playing centre back. He played Downs, Coventry, and who else was it in the middle of midfield?
So are you
Lanzini? It's Lanzini. I don't know.
Are you saying it was simply flat? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there was no. For me, like Lanzini doesn't move enough now. He's not mobile enough to be the creative spark he once was. He's like a deep lying passer, right? So then he needs the movement in front of him, a la what we finished with, which was Bowen and Benrahma. But then when we got the goal in front, and this is the only thing I would say, which I'm surprised about for more, is when we got in front with only like 12 minutes left on the clock, I'm genuinely surprised you didn't see Creswell come on then and Soucek come on for Antonio. And he went back to 5 at the back because for 20 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go, he went back to a back 4. At which point we were wide open. And I said, if they get a chance, you never know what's going to happen. And I said, Johnson then, it's really naive, is what I would call it, defending. And I know he's young and he will learn. But when Diaz does that once and nearly scores, and then you let him do it again and he does score, what do you expect? And by that point, again,
Right.
like I said, it's the last minute. We couldn't shut it out.
Right, we're going to go live over to the stadium. So we're going to go to DJ Russie B, who's at the game himself. So we'll hand over to you, Russ. Let's give us your thoughts, mate.
Wasn't very good. We should have easily won that game, I think. Then we dominated possession. I know me and Freshfielder were kept keeping a tally on how many corners we've had. But it was just, and you said it in the chat, in the commentary, as soon as BBD came in on his, he came in on his left, came in his right rather off the left. It was a great goal, but then it comes to penalties, isn't it? It comes to penalties, and it's a lottery, I mean, we beat Man City on penalties last year, and it was Angelo, and it is what it is, isn't it? It's just disappointing, really, because we apart from maybe 5 minutes at the beginning, 5 minutes at the end of each half, that's all Blackburn had, really. Just a bit, yeah.
But we did. I mean, we had really big spells in the game, Russ. Like we and we started off crap.
Jones.
Right, go on. Where's Peter?
No,
Is Peter coming on?
He's off. Go on, piss off. Go on. He's gone. He's good.
We had spells in the game, Russ. We had spells of possession. We didn't start the game well at all, and obviously they took advantage of that by getting the goal. But we held possession in the first half, and then we started peppering their goal for a while, or peppering their box. But again, just not able to put the ball in the back of the net. Really,
you corrected yourself well there. Peppering the box.
Yeah,
we didn't pepper the goal. We peppered the box,
no.
and that was it. It was like the amount of possession we had. And the amount of corners we had, and again, it's just that next bit on inside the box. It's like a force field. It's like West Ham just crumble as soon as we get anywhere near it at the moment, which is really upsetting because they were there for the taking. Antonio had a field day against their centre half. Their the left-sided centre half. He was pushing him all over the place, and he should have. And I mean, there was a couple of times where Antonio was Antonio and should have buried shots, and we were very wasteful again. Very wasteful.
Interestingly, though, I found that West Ham had quite a lot of possession down the left-hand side. Emerson and Fornals were getting quite a lot of action down the left-hand side, but really, again, couldn't really convert whatever they were doing. I mean, listen, Fornals is putting himself in the picture. He was substituted off. But he is putting himself in the picture for Moyes. He got another goal tonight. Was it harsh bringing him off? Was it the right decision?
I think it was the right decision for the formation. So obviously they went to 4-4-2, really, didn't they, to be honest? Put Bowden on the right, put Ben Rama on the left, brought Downs into more of a central position with Lanzini. It was harsh. I mean, the game was open. And when the game's open, it favours the likes of Fornals. And it favours the likes of Benny as well, and Antonio, to be honest, because it's very loose. The whole game was very loose. I think there wasn't much structure to it at all, to be fair. I mean,
Rush, you sound a little bit like you're losing a little bit of patience.
I've always got patience.
The thing that bloody Stuart Pearce is telling the fans to have.
I'm more of an advocate for them to take that song than anyone else. Just have a little patience. But today we had enough to beat them. And two sloppy errors. We could have, to be fair, they could have easily scored at least once, if not twice before that. You had BBD like one across the goal. They had the fuck up in the first half as well, where Dolan somehow, I don't know how he didn't score that one, but it's just a bit shit at the moment. It's not, and I think actually the World Cup's coming at the right time for us, because I think
do you know what, I think I do agree with you on that. I didn't think I would have agreed when it came up. I think you wanted that run of play with the fixtures piling up, October, November. You were slightly starting to panic a little bit about what was actually coming your way. I think you're right, mate. I think the World Cup is definitely coming around at the right time. If you want to come on and have your say, the number is along the bottom. We're going to stay on, not for a long one tonight, but The number to dial is 0116 318 3846. If you are in the UK, you dial 0116 318 3846. You can come on and have your say on the phone. If you're dialing in from an international number, international country, you dial +44 116 318 3846. You can come in and have your say for a couple of minutes. The lines have been mobbed the past couple of times we've been doing it, so I probably will give you just a bit of a limit time on it as well.
But the trouble
Russ,
is,
where do we go from here?
Where
do we go from here?
We go home, and then we come back for Saturday, and then we'll see what happens. We go back, with our first team against Leicester, who are playing well, and we don't lose. That's the key for me. I think if a loss is dreadful. I can live with a draw, but a loss is dreadful. We need points, and it's. I mean, the fact is, Soucek, although he was due to come on, didn't get any minutes today. Deck hasn't had any minutes today. Bowen came on at the end. Skamaki came on at the end. Yeah, so we should have a very, very fit side. They haven't played for a week, and we go all out. We've got to. We have to finish this. We have to finish tomorrow on Saturday with a bang.
We do. Again, it puts so much pressure on the one individual game in itself. But like you said, Russ, like it's such a vital game to just stop on a positive rather than stop on a negative. Either way, like you said, the World Cup break's probably coming at the right time. Gives West Ham a chance to reset, get people hopefully back as fit as they possibly can.
I mean, you look back at. I know this is a bit. Well, I suppose it's a similar situation. You look back pre-COVID. We had that Southampton game, didn't we? Where we were brilliant. We were gashed beforehand, and with that Southampton game, and we were brilliant. And that game just got us on the right footing when we came back. And that's what we need now. We need a really good performance against Leicester. Couple of goals. Let's see if we can get a win. Not a defeat. Get a win, and then we sort of pause on a good trajectory rather than on this negative trajectory. Is what we've been in recently.
Right, something I want to bring both your ways then. Some people are putting in the comment, all London teams that played tonight from the Premier League are out. Arsenal got beat by Brighton at home 3-1. Newcastle, obviously, they beat Palace, so they're out as well. Nottingham Forest beat Spurs. West Ham got beat by Blackburn. Liverpool beat Derby, but Chelsea's out to Man City. It seems to be that I don't know that again. I don't want to put excuses on it, but were they? I don't know, mate. I'm trying to work it out. Were they? I'm not saying they were happy to leave and not get through this tournament because we need to see West Ham win a cup. But the priority and the bread and butter is the bloody Europe and the league.
It is, but the only way we can get into Europe next year is winning something. Now we're not going to get into the league position. We have to win the Conference League, and now even more so, there's going to be more pressure on the FA Cup because, as you said, the likes of Arsenal, the likes of Spurs, Chelsea, they've been knocked out, so they're going to go for the FA Cup because they want to win some silverware as well. So it's literally conference or bust really for us if we want to get Europe next year. The trouble is, here. Today, Moyes wanted to win this game. He wouldn't have brought on Skamaka. He wouldn't have gone 4-4-2.
That's the issue, though.
That's the issue. We've tried our best hand, and he didn't do enough. Unfortunately, again, defensive issues again.
Another thing about tonight, really about that, what your point there you're making is we worked hard at some points of the game to win the ball back, and sloppily gave it away. And we're playing a second-string Blackburn Championship team, but if you come up against, it doesn't matter, anyone in the Premier League, and you sloppily give the ball away with players that you relied on heavily last year and are relying on a lot this year, then shit, man, it won't look good. We need to. It's those little errors that we're making that are costing us in these games. Obviously, we need to put the ball in the back of the net, but we're not doing that. But it's the little tiny shitty errors that we're not dealing with that we need to start doing.
It is. It's those little errors which seem to be creeping in more and more. And that's 2 games now we've conceded right at the death, which has cost us any points against Palace and has knocked us out of the Carabao Cup. we could have easily seen that game out. Easily seen that game out. You know what. If Moyes has been scouting BBD all last year, he's going to tell you what not to do.
Yeah.
Don't let him cut
Don't
inside.
let
So it's
him
like,
cut inside
it's
and
not
put it on
like,
his right foot.
exactly. It's not like he's an unknown quantity. We know what he brings. We know how good he is, how lethal he can be. And twice we let him cut inside. Once he gave us a bit of a warning with that when he flashed it across the goal, but we still then do it again. It's just naivety, and it was just frustrating because they were there for the taking. It was we were playing some nice football, some nice one-touch football. As you said, a lot of possession, a lot of corners. But it's just false field.
I think Gatesy, if it is Gatesy, excuse me if it's not, and if it's you, Duke, but the guys over at Forge from Iron got their own YouTube channel, check them out. He's making the point here, says, why are we not looking to play a quick pass from back to front? We seem to usually play a sideways or backward pass, which allows the opponents to reorganise. We are too slow. And I think we are when we break down any wing. We've been doing it probably for over a season now, where when we break, we're not, apart from the players that think forward, Emerson broke several times down the left-hand side today and then stopped, looked back and thought, I'm not saying he did it all the time, but go on.
You're right. It was almost like they had no options. That was the issue, I think. And that's the trouble you have when you play someone who, like Antonio, who just doesn't make natural forward runs. So, someone like Emerson was bombing it, looking to get a cross in. No one there, and I mean, Coventry tried it in the first half and almost gave away a goal, trying to do a nice, cross-field ball and ended up passing it to their centre forward. But I agree, we just are slow in that transition. We have been for a long time. I don't really understand why, because, the likes of Bowen, the likes of Ben Rama, these people, they're good players and the team's a good team. I thought Flynn Downs was excellent today. He really drove forward. I mean, he was playing right wing, 10, 8. He was all over the bloody park. I thought he was fantastic today. But his energy was sort of permeating everyone else a little bit. But yeah, it's just too slow. And this lot was for the taking. They really were down the wings, particularly their centre backs were really ropey. And Antonio was having a field day. He was really dominating their centre halves. But he just hasn't got the gall to make it count. That's the trouble with him.
I mean, the comments in the chat are very scathing towards David Moyes. There's not a lot of positivity kicking about right now, Matt.
You can't blame him, can you? You can't blame him.
No.
Moyes, one thing we know about Moyes when he comes in is that generally speaking, he sets up his teams to counter-attack. Right? It's first and foremost defend, don't lose. He's always set up, don't lose a game. If you can't win it, don't lose it. Right? And at the moment, you've got Palace when, all right, some people might have moaned if Antonio ran to the corner in the 95th minute because we're players in the box. But if he does that, we don't lose. Today, we're playing, and this isn't disrespect to them because I thought their kids done really well, but they were playing Blackburn's B team, a very youthful B team. And we put out our Europa League team, and he still went 5 at the back. Like, why are you going 5 at the back against the Championship B team at home?
I'll tell you why. Because we haven't got a left back. We haven't got a replacement left back with Aaron Cresswell. Emerson's not left back.
I would just play Emerson. Just play Emerson.
Yeah, but he wouldn't play him.
It's a cup game. So
back.
what does it?
Yeah.
What does it matter? It's a cup game.
It's true.
If he played him, and we'd lost today and lost 3-2, and Emerson had made mistakes, at least Moyes could sit there smugly and say to West Ham fans, "Look, that's why I play a back 5 because Emerson can't play left back."
Yeah,
right?
but Moyes, he's risk
I want to address this comment here. No excuses anymore. This channel has to stop defending Moyes. He's a joke. No, I'm not. It's not that I'm looking at this situation from the point of view of seeing West Ham sack a manager and bring someone else in who it just does not work. It hasn't worked for West Ham.
To find if they want to do it, because there are managers out there that could do it.
Well, there's some managers available, but it's about for me, it's about trying to realise the situation, put ourselves in the situation. Listening to Stuart Pearce, he makes a valid point. He's like, couple of victories out of those losses recently or draws, then we wouldn't be looking so bad. And we are in transition. What do we expect? No team in the world can bring in 8 players and transition immediately. It doesn't exist. It literally. There's the question to you in the chat. Tell me a team that's done that, apart from talking about the Real Madrids, but even teams like Barcelona, when they lost the Messis of the world and all that sort of stuff, they brought in a whole host of other players, and look how much they struggled. I'm just trying to give people that example. That's where I'm at with it. Like, I want to give it time. Said, I get the negative style. I get that.
As Gatey said there, Mark Warburton. Let him go. Let him have a run.
I mean, is that right at the start, Matt? You have to put that up, mate, because I'm right at the back with the chat.
We'll end up with Mark Warburton. Give him a go. He's the assistant.
Sorry. Yeah.
He's the assistant, and he done well at QPR last year as the manager. Even if you bring him in,
I know, but you're Matt, you're talking like he's gone now.
I think by then you're almost.
I'm very much nearly there.
You're cutting off your nose to spite your face. I think if you do that. I mean, the ironic thing is, the position we're in, we need someone like David Moyes. That's the type of player you need, the manager you need now to get us out of the shit. And ironically, he's done it twice already, where we've had situations under Slav, under Pellegrini. We're down the bottom of the league. Who do we bring in? David Moyes to steady the ship. That's sort of what we need now. And actually, to be honest, it's a case of, for me, it's a case of getting this season out of the way and just progressing in the conference. At the end of the day, we're not gonna get anywhere near conference, the European places in the league now. The FA Cup, I think there's gonna be too many teams up for it now. So it's about maintaining Premier League status and going for the conference if we want to maintain the Europe next year, which we need to.
Again, I want to address this one, Mandy. Anton, I said Blackburn made 11 changes. I know they did. I did say that. Absolutely, they did. And I'm not trying to defend this performance tonight because there's nothing to defend. Like, I can't defend this performance. I can't defend the Crystal Palace performance. The only thing I can say, and there's nothing positive from tonight. There was nothing positive from Crystal Palace. There was some positives to take from Liverpool. There was a little bit of positives to take from Manchester United. There was positives to take from the Chelsea game. And we just weren't doing it. And as Gatesy said here, we just seem to be unable to convert the chances. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm trying to weigh it up, and I'm trying to go, at what point will this team click? And if they don't click, then I fully am behind the decision to change. That's where I'm at. So my decision on sticking right now, though, is based upon giving this team time, giving Corney the opportunity to come back into the team, Paqueta to get a run of games, Scamacca to get a run of games, Aguerd to come into the team. Like, fuck me, that's going to change the whole dynamics of our team. Now, everyone will turn around to me and go, yeah, but you can't say if, buts, or maybes, but you can. I think you can.
I'm not saying if, buts, maybes. I'm saying the one key problem for me is that David Moyes is a defensive manager, right? He is a counter-attacking manager. But we haven't bought players to play counter-attacking football. We've bought players to play progressive attacking football. Paqueta is not a counter-attacking player. Cornet's not a counter-attacking player. Cornet basically played up front for Burnley because it was the way to fit him in the team. Scamacca's not a counter-attacking player. So when we're playing behind the ball and trying to break, the only thing you are missing, I suppose you could say, is Cornet's pace. But the players he's bought for an attacking team.
Yeah.
So when he sets up with 5 at the back, but the defence isn't working either. That's the flip side of the argument, is that Moyes can say, well, it's not working, I'm playing defensive, but defensive isn't working. You can't say defensive working when you 2 games in a row concede the 90th minute goal, because that just means you don't have the confidence to shut out a game.
It's game management.
Play 7 defenders? Like, what do you do? Play 7 defenders?
The issue today was it's 2 games in a row. Game management. It's game management, and the trouble is, and it's something that I've mentioned to Anton before. I don't even think it's. I think we've had issues. There's been issues all season. It hasn't clicked, and the reason why I think it ain't clicked is I don't think we've got a very good club manager, not a team manager. Definitely, team captain. I don't think we've got a experienced club captain. That's my issue at the moment. When the chips are down, Mark Noble would know what to do. He's done it before. Do you know what I mean?
Get back in.
getting back in. But with
There you
Deck,
go.
no disrespect to Deck, he's a fantastic captain, team captain, but it's different. He hasn't been in this situation before as a captain in terms of how to cope with it, and I think that's
There you
going
go.
to be
There's
an
your
issue.
manager, Ross. Give it to Noble.
What's that?
Give it to Noble to the end of the season.
Why? Just because he's a West Ham fan? That's ridiculous.
No. Listen.
Give it to Noble to the end of the season.
Again, the thing I'm coming back, the thing I'm coming at people with is Aguerd, Paqueta, Scamacca, Corney, probably 4 starters for the team. Add to the mixture Mark Noble coming in January, coming back from the World Cup. They all come back unscathed. We bring in a couple of bits and pieces that we need in the transfer window, which is not going to be a lot, but a few. And then give that. The situation is, right, we've got a little bit of time on our side, in my honest, genuine opinion. I know it's shit, right, but we have only played, how many games have we played? 14 games in a season that has 38. By this point of the season, we'd be over halfway now, I think, wouldn't we? We'd be nearly halfway from the season, or by the time that January comes, we would be halfway through, is the point I'm trying to make. But we're about to break for the season. So really, in theory, whatever we do over the winter, whatever we do over the January window, I would then at that stage go, do you know what? See if in February shit's not working. We've got February, March, April, and May to try and turn it around, which I think that is enough time with the players we've got. I think we do, because it's just okay. What everyone here is saying, what everyone in this chat to me is saying right now is it's not the playing personnel, it's the manager. So if everyone in this chat is saying it's the manager, then you can afford the current manager who's got us to this state, to this place, to give him a shot at trying to change it. If they can't change it, switch the manager and he should be able to change the players, no problem. If that's what people are saying, then that's what I'm saying.
You're totally right. And also, this is the weirdest season we're ever going to have. So we don't know what's going to happen when everyone comes back from the World Cup. Most of Man City's side will be out there. Most of we've only got four people who are likely to be starting for the club, their team. Maybe 3 start actually, because Ariola just been called up. We've got time. And I think that's for me it's having it's all about Saturday. For me, it's all.
Oh mate, it's so funny. Was that the beef we working on?
There's so many comments, man. It's mad. Oh, there goes Russ. I think he's lost his reception, is he? No, he's back. He's back.
I'm back.
He's back.
I'm back again.
Listen, I mean, I think we should maybe call it quits there. I mean, there's going to be plenty of stuff coming on tomorrow. Russ will be here with his review of the game. He'll be giving you the player ratings and stuff like that. So keep your eye on the channel. Tomorrow you can come in and have a right good old debate. Russ, I think you should open up the phone lines and get some people on if you've got the chance, if you've got the time. But if not, then don't worry. But listen, any final one?
Let's say we'll have Budgie on Thursday night, won't we? I think Budgie on Thursday night, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that tomorrow's Thursday, isn't it? Yeah. Old School Hammers tomorrow as well. We've got loads of stuff coming your way, so keep an eye on the channel. If you're new around here, please make sure you do subscribe to the channel. We've been beaten in the Carabao Cup. It's not ideal. I get it. Loads of the chat. Moy's out. Some of the chat. Moy's in. We just move on, and we've got Leicester on Saturday. It's a big game. We need to get the ball. We need to do something, mate. We need to get 3 points this Saturday.
You know what? I'm looking at the table, and the only thing that Ross wants to say is just not lose game on Saturday. As long as we don't lose, the last thing you want to do is if we lose, there's a real possibility we could spend a month in the bottom 3 and be bottom 3 at Christmas. You don't want that. So the one thing we have to do is not lose on Saturday, and then we can stay outside because the pressure between the two is.
I want to address this quickly, right? Hi, Anton. I'm really struggling with your. Oh, it'll be all right. Just leave it as it's regarding the manager. I don't know if I'm coming across right, and I'm probably not. So I'm not saying it'll be all right in the end. I'm saying that I'm seeing glimpses. I've seen glimpses in games apart from Crystal Palace and Blackburn that have been okay, like in terms of creating chances. I've never seen us go to Anfield and do what we did at Anfield. I've never seen us, not just that excuses of a game, but I think there's been things there, that glimpses that I've saw personally. I understand why you and other fans don't want him in, and you see it as negative and boring, because tonight is negative and boring. Crystal Palace is negative and boring. I get it. But Liverpool wasn't, and other games weren't. And if we can get some of those players back, I'm willing to give the commitment. I'm honouring what he's done for the club in a respectful manner, and going, I'm not so sure that Tuchel will come into West Ham and change it. Like, who thinks he's going to fucking come out and do it? I get it. Please don't dig me out on that. Like, it's my opinion, so I'm allowed to have my opinion. I'm allowed to have it. And I respect all your opinions as well. I do respect all your opinions. I do. And I know it's shit, Scott. I know it's shit. I know the Premier League form is shit. But the situation I find myself in is that I was willing to give up a little bit of the Premier League form last year because we got a European fucking semi-final. So we're West Ham. We're West Ham. That's it. Anyway, I'm going to go because I could end up having a Barney with you all in the chat.
Yeah,
we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. Stay. No, I'm not, Paul. No, I'm not. Stay safe. Come on, you Irons. And yeah, I don't even know what else to say. Just keep the faith. I think I don't even know if that's the right thing to say anymore. Roll on Saturday. See you tomorrow. Bye.